Greetings and blessing viewers and subscribers. Welcome back to WHADAT Updates. Hope you're all safe and taking the necessary precautions in preparation for a tropical storm. Melissa, please remember to like, subscribe and share. Leave your comments below and tell your friends about WHADAT TV. Now in this update, man rescued from pit in Mandeville. MOBAY man charged for robbery. Gob seized on Chancery Lane. Over 400 sex offenders being monitored by authorities. Now for our first story. Man rescued after falling into sinkhole in Mandeville. Earlier today, a man was rescued by firefighters in Mandeville, Manchester, after he fell into a sinkhole in the parish. The rescue operation required the use of a crane unit to safely reach and extract the man from the hole. He was later transported to hospital for treatment.
Hey, miss. Are you from here? I see you from here. Oh, look at me. Oh. Alright, into you now. Under, 5-4. Oh, look, give me some tension. Voilà, do it.
So it's not Jaden, people. It's not Jaden. It's a young youth, probably boy in 20s, 19, 20, but them say he's a van son mind. So in a certain how him reach it down in the hole, but them get him out. Them get him out, firefighters them just take him out.
Can somebody pin?
I see them all lift him out. Bring him to the ambulance.
No, he wasn't searching.
People may come off of the live, but I go button down to the storm.
Early this month, right?
So that is it, people.
Now, in our next story, Montego Bay man charged. Following armed robbery along Godfrey Dyer Boulevard, detectives assigned to the Montego Bay Criminal Investigation Branch, CIB, have charged 23-year-old David Gaya, otherwise called David of Grenada Terrace, Cornwall Courts, St. James, in connection with a violent robbery along Godfrey Dyer Boulevard on Sunday, July 20. Reports indicate that about 1:30 p.m., Guya and 4 other men, armed with rifles and handguns, attacked a motorist who was parked along the boulevard. The men allegedly forced the driver into the back seat of his Toyota Axio and drove towards Flanker, where they robbed him of 3 iPhones valued at approximately US $2,400, 20,000 Jamaican dollars in cash, and several bank cards. The victim was later released and assisted by residents to the hospital, where he was treated for injuries sustained during the ordeal. Following investigations, Guya was arrested during a targeted police operation on Railway Lane in Montego Bay. He has since been charged with robbery with aggravation and assault occasioning grievous bodily harm. A court date is being finalized. Meanwhile in Kingston, 45 caliber pistol seized during police operation on Chancery Lane. Law enforcement officers assigned to the Kingston Central Police Division seized an interarms .45 caliber pistol along with a magazine containing 4.45 cartridges during a targeted operation on Chancery Lane in Kingston on Thursday, October 23. Reports are that between 6:50 p.m. and 7:30 p.m., police conducted a search of an unfinished building located at the front of the premises, where the firearm and ammunition were discovered. No arrest was made in connection with the seizure. The Kingston Central Police continue investigations into the find. And in our final story, over 400 sex offenders under watch, says Jamaica's prison authority. Jamaica's prison authorities say they are keeping a close watch on more than 400 convicted sex offenders across the island as part of ongoing monitoring efforts. Commissioner of Corrections Rod Mason revealed that these offenders form part of the approximately 6,200 individuals being managed by the Department of Correctional Services, DCS. We have approximately 3,500 adults and 164 children in our juvenile institutions. In our non-custodial numbers, we have 2,288 adults and 249 children, inclusive of over 400 sex offenders being monitored. Mason disclosed, under the Sexual Offences Act, anyone convicted of crimes such as rape, grievous sexual assault, incest, sexual touching, sexual grooming, or sexual intercourse with a minor, as well as those released pending appeal, must register within 3 days at the sex offender registry in the parish where they intend to live. Registration officers verify both primary and secondary addresses, capture photographs, and record details in a secure digital database. Each offender is then tracked for at least 10 years after release, though courts may extend that period depending on the severity of the case. However, child rights advocate Priscilla Duhani, spokesperson for Hear the Children's Cry, questioned whether the authorities have the capacity to effectively monitor such a large number of offenders. 400 persons is a lot to be monitored, she said. I don't necessarily believe the data is accurate because I don't think we have the resources to monitor 400 persons effectively and efficiently. Despite these concerns, DCS figures suggest that reoffending among registered sex offenders remains relatively low. Registrar Melissa Dobson reported that between July and September 2025, only 2 offenders were brought back before the courts on sexually related charges. Similar figures were recorded in 2024, and just 1 reoffender was identified between April and June 2023. Still, Jamaica continues to grapple with high levels of sexual violence. Police data show that between January 1 and October 11, 2025, at least 263 cases of rape were reported compared to 344 cases during the same period in 2024. Earlier this year, Superintendent Kerry-Ann Bailey, head of the Center for the Investigation of Sexual Offences and Child Abuse, CISOCA, disclosed that between January 2023 and May, more than 3,000 sexual offenses involving over 2,100 children were reported. By June 2025, roughly 330 new cases had already been recorded with rape, grievous sexual assault, and unlawful sexual intercourse, with minors being the most prevalent offenses. Duhani expressed concern that some sex offenders may not be properly registered, leaving potential gaps in the system. A lot of these sex offenders might not even be registered, she warned. We need more stringent mechanisms to ensure that every offender is accounted for and effectively monitored, she said. Very interesting statistics and situation, especially with the mounting calls for a publicly accessible sexual offenders registry. Definitely something to keep an eye on. That's it for this update, viewers. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. Leave your comments below and stay safe Until the next one.